Hello everyone, I am Mike. Watch. Today, I'm bringing you two timepieces for our review. The first one is the black ceramic 26240 from the DDF factory. It is equipped with the Dandong 4401 caliber. However, this Dandong 4401 movement is slightly different from the Shanghai 4401. This DDF version utilizes the Dandong 4401 movement. And the metal rings on the outer edge of the black subdials are crafted exceptionally well. It's superior to some other factories and much closer to the genuine gen. For instance, on the older APS factory versions, this metal ring was made far too thin. Generally speaking, if you want it to be closer to the genuine, you need to do some modding. This means replacing the dial, hands, and date wheel the standard 3-piece set with an upgraded 3-piece set from the SW factory. Then its overall aesthetic will be almost identical to the DDF version I have in my hand. The primary difference lies in these three small metal subdial rings. The most obvious aspect is right here. They are slightly wider and have a higher polish. Alright, let's get back to our main character today. This V3 version Daytona Panda from the VSF factory. Today, let's dive into its chronograph function. Regarding the chronograph function, as you can observe on this side, my chronograph seconds hand has been running continuously. How long has it been running? It has already completed its first 30-minute rotation. And for the second rotation, it has currently reached 17 minutes. And over here, moving clockwise from the 12 o'clock position, it has completed one full rotation and jumped a little over one subdivision. Because it has already been running for over 10 minutes here, the second rotation is over 10 minutes in. If it completes another full rotation, finishing the second sweep at the 30 mark, this hand will align perfectly with this white marker. This means when this side completes 2 rotations, this side will jump one major increment to here. Actually, it moves one minor increment every 30 minutes, and after another 30 minutes, it reaches this white line. It doesn't feature an instantaneous jumping mechanism. It advances gradually based on this side. When it runs from here to about 15 minutes, this hand will slightly deviate. It slowly sweeps over. It doesn't jump instantly like the other register. You can observe that in about a dozen seconds, it will make a visible jump right here. Take a close look. This side jumps directly. It doesn't creep slowly, it snaps right over. Just a few more seconds. Look, it jumps straight over. On this side, however, it creeps forward very slowly, advancing bit by bit. Okay, let's pause the chronograph. Now let it run again. These fundamental chronograph functions are completely identical to the genuine watch. They are fully functional mechanical features. If it couldn't fully replicate the genuine, it couldn't claim to be the highest tier replica version on the market. With one press of the pusher, it all resets. Everything snaps back to 0. This goes back to 12, this goes back to 30, and this also resets perfectly to 12. In our daily wear, we shouldn't frequently activate the chronograph seconds hand. If it's not necessary, don't leave it running continuously. Because when you activate it, the running seconds hand is moving, and the chronograph hand is also engaged. which depletes your power reserve very rapidly. The power reserve drain is incredibly fast. Next, let's examine the position of the coronet, the crown logo at 12 o'clock. Let's start the chronograph. Seconds hand to get it out of the way. There's a bit of crystal glare, but you can still see that the center point of the coronet aligns perfectly with the center of the crown in the inner Rehaut engraving. It aligns quite well. The Daytona series replicas usually have excellent alignment. However, for instance, on the Submariner or Datejust series, the alignment isn't always as perfect. There's often a slight deviation. The best alignment is typically found on the Daytona series. It's very precise. Moreover, because it's the Daytona series, the sapphire crystal over the dial is relatively thick. It doesn't always look 100% clear. Depending on the viewing angle, the visual effect might differ. If you look at it from different angles, you might perceive it as slightly misaligned. But if you look at it straight on, it is perfectly centered. Now it gets a bit blurry because of the engravings. Actually, the engravings are still quite sharp. Looking at it this way, it remains very crisp. But it is related to the thickness of the crystal. When there's glare, it's hard to see clearly, including this side from the 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock positions. The hour markers align perfectly with the hour in Rolex. This alignment is also correct. Including the 9, 8, and 7 o'clock markers, you can see they align very accurately. On this side, from the 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock positions, they align with the X. The hour markers perfectly match the X in the Rehaut. Overall, the alignment is exceptionally neat and precise. This is definitely an aspect where the Daytona series performs better. Alright, that wraps up today's video. See you in the next one, and thank you all for watching.